And so I'm going to jump into the show immediately. I'll get them involved. Barrister is on his way. Hopefully he joins us on time. The Lagos State House of Assembly, a few days ago, I think that was Wednesday last week, had a public hearing where they invited the public to come and hear what they have to say on the bill that is to be passed into law. I heard that that bill has gone through the second reading in the House. If it goes past the third and is accepted, it's going to become a law where tenancy will be slashed by 5%. And a whole lot of things are going to change in the real estate sector in Lagos as regarding landlords and tenants. The law is to make landlords feel better about having tenants in their house. The law is also to ensure that tenants have their rights not trampled upon by landlords. But I was there in that meeting, myself and Barrister, and I broke down a few things. These are my analysis. The proposed Lagos State Tenancy Bill 2025, insight and analysis. I want you to listen very, very carefully. Whatever you have a pen and you have a booklet, write down. If you're someone who owns a house and you have tenants living in the house, most of them have caused you crises in the past. Maybe they haven't caused you any problems, but you never know what the future would hold. If you're a tenant, you're looking to own a house, but you don't yet, and you're living in a landlord who's pestering your life. We've heard of certain funny cases where you hear landlords say, don't bring your girlfriend into the house. I don't understand. You want to bring only guys into that. So we've had this back and forth. So the Lagos State government is trying to fix all of this mess to ensure that you don't have tenants who are pressing the necks of their landlords, and you don't have landlords who are taking away the franchise of tenants who are living in their houses. What's actually happening? Status. It is still a bill, because I've seen in a few platforms on social media, some real estate platforms, saying that it is a law. It's not yet a law. Don't go and fight your landlord. It's not yet a law. It is still a bill that has gone past the second reading before the public was invited to come and hear. It's not yet a law. It has to go through the House a third time, and the eyes are going to have it before it becomes a law. So it is still a bill. It passed second reading on 10th of July 2025. I'm telling you this with authority. And had a public hearing on the 13th to 14th of August 2025. It has not been enacted or assented to yet. So the 2011 and 2015 tenancy law remains in force for now. So wherever you are, it doesn't matter what you hear on television, what you hear on radio, it doesn't matter the real estate article you've read or the platforms you're reading from on social media platforms. The tenancy law of Lagos State as at 2011 and 2015 is still in enforcement. That is the law that abides real estate tenants and landlords in dealing with real estate. That law has not yet been abolished. That law will be abolished if this new tenancy bill that the public were called to listen at the National Assembly passes and becomes a law. That is when the 2011-2015 law becomes abolished. For now, it is not yet abolished. Don't go fight your landlord and don't oppress your tenants, thinking that the new law it's now in motion. Headline proposal: cap agency/commission fees at 5% of 1 year's rent with penalties, refund up to 1 million naira fine or 2 years imprisonment for overcharging. I'll take that again. Headline proposal: cap agency/commission fees at 5% of 1 year's rent. Previously, you have 10% in agency fee. So if this bill passes and becomes a law, it slashes the previous 10% that the agents will charge on rentals from 10% to 5%. At the end of the reading, the public were, the platform was open for the public to have their say, and a few persons from agencies were saying that 10% was even regarded to be so small. They had plans to bring up opinions, that it should get to 15% and 20%. And of course, the House, everybody was screaming, the public was screaming, because most people, they are not agents, they are tenants. Rent in advance limits. The draft would make it unlawful to demand or offer more than 3 months from a sitting monthly tenant or 1 year from a sitting yearly tenant, and for newly tenants, no more than 1 year upfront. Breaches attracts at 1 million naira or 3 months jail penalty. It also standardizes default notice periods. Example: 1 month for monthly tenants, 6 months for yearly tenants. That is, these are complicated words. I'll just break it down. So the new law says that if the bill passes and becomes a law, states that a tenant who comes into a house is not going to get more than 1 year in dealings with the landlord. The landlord is not to offer more than 1 year. You cannot have a landlord who says, "Oh, let's forget about what the law says. You can pay me for 2 years." The law says that you cannot pay for more than 1 year. And of course, a lot of persons brought their opinions and said that, what about if the landlord has an agreement with the tenant? Of course, we know what the law says. The law says don't pay more than 1 year. But what about if the landlord has more than... And you had a lot of persons who had this opinion. So they said that they are going to go through what everyone has said and look into it and see what changes they will make. Agents and Lacera. Anyone acting as an agent must be registered under Lacera, the 2021 law, must issue receipts and remit rent within 7 months days unless otherwise agreed. We've had this issue, and we've talked about it, myself and Barrister, over and over again. The fact that you don't know who an agent is. Barrister has lamented here that somebody who is a barber can just say he wants to become a real estate agent. Someone who's a mechanic can say he wants to become a real estate agent. What are the criteria to becoming a real estate agent? What certificates do you need to become a real estate agent? So the Lagos State government have been listening to us, and I believe not just us, a few persons in Lagos, and they are looking into this and they want to fix this through this law. So you're not just going to have every Tom, Dick and Harry say that they are a real estate agent. To become a real estate agent, I know that your company has to register 500,000 per annum. The Lagos State government last time said that it's going to be 1 million, and you had this opera from everyone saying that, it's too much, but currently it's at 500,000. Faster dispute resolution, encourages mediation, allows virtual hearings, weekend/public holiday proceedings, e-filing, with a goal of resolving tenants' issues in 6 months. I'm reading my analysis from the conversations or discussions that was had by the representatives from the state or at the National Assembly, talking about the bill that's supposed to be enacted into law that has gone past the second reading. Rationale to context. Lawmakers cite a widening housing deficit, about 3.4 million units in 2025, 70% of residents rent. Many spend 40 to 60% of income on rent. This is why Lagos State is completely interested in this. Most people spend more than 40% to 60% of the monies that they own, that they earn. So imagine you earn 100,000 naira on a monthly basis. The state takes close to 60,000 naira of that money, or 40,000 naira of that money from you. That's not enough. You can't go to school from that kind of money. You can't feed your family if you're a married person. So it's extremely difficult. So Lagos State are a pace. Lagos State is a pace setter in how nations or how states should function in Nigeria. They've been doing that for a long time, and we are hoping that this happens. If it happens, we're going to have a lot of changes around the country. Pushback. Professional bodies, estate surveyors and valuers have questioned the 5% cap as conflicts with existing fee scales. So these clauses may be negotiated before passage, before the bill is passed into law, because you've had lots of real estate people say that, the fee is going to be too low. How do we make a living from that? Because don't forget, agents are also people who make a living from what they do. They may be surveyors, they may be people who studied like barrister, they may be lawyers. But at the end of the day, it's how they earn a living. So most are saying that the 5% is too low. I can't take all of it. What I'm going to do is that on our page, Property 360 NG on Facebook and Instagram, I'm going to push everything that I analyze from the several talking points. I've got to introduce Barrister. Barrister walked in while I was reading all of this, and then we'll go on this quick break. When we come back, we are going to be dissecting so much. Barrister, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Good morning. Where? Nigeria is doing me well.
But I'm grateful for life. Yes. I'm grateful for Lagos State. There's so much opportunity in this state.
Yes.
There's a lot of privilege, and I want to thank the state government for hosting us and a few other persons at the National Assembly a few days ago.
Yes, on Wednesday.
It was quite comfortable. The sitting position was convenient. People were well behaved. The Lagos State government prepared the place for the public. It's not what you hear where they'll say, it's not how they say it was going to be. It was not the way it was. They ensured that we were comfortable. They should have started by 11 a.m., but they gave the opportunity for most people who were coming late to come in, take their time, sit down, feel relaxed, and then eventually, I even heard some people were offered refreshments.
Yes.
Yeah,
no.
massive one there.
Yes.
Massive one there. Barrister, let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll dissect. I want to hear your opinion, Barrister. No sitting on the fence. Let us be, because that's why they brought us in on that hearing. And that's why has become a thing, because they were listening to us and a few other persons in the state. So I don't want to sit on the fence. I want us to speak from our hearts. Let us appraise them for what the bill is. Let us talk about the positivities in this bill, and let's talk about the negativities. They can listen to us, and you never know, then we take the right steps. Lagos, don't touch that dial. This is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. Welcome back to the show. It is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. My name is Aaron Seth. You can also call me the King of Words. I'm sorry. Last time I said that song was by Alex Warren. That's my mistake. This one is by Seth Schuleter. The other one.
This is Alex Warren.
This is Alex Warren. Ordinary. A positive song right there. But Barrister is in the building, and we're going to be jumping in immediately. Barrister, before I touch my talking points, I want you to tell me what you think about this whole hearing by the Lagos State government, the Lagos State National Assembly, House of Assembly, on issues regarding tenants and landlord palaver that has been finally brought to the table.
Well, it's a very good. First of all, my name is Barrister Kasmia. Let me greet my people from Mezumo. Good morning to you all. Rotary Club of Ikeja South, Lokejas, I greet you. And Zion Lego team, I greet you. Good morning, Lagos.
Rotarians?
Yeah, my fellow Rotarians, distinguished people. My take from that discussion on Wednesday, because we were there, what I told the Lagos State House of Assembly on that floor is that anyone who is not qualified to practice as an agent should not be allowed to operate in that field. My reason is this. People are lamenting, a lot of people are crying and complaining of the high cost of renting in Lagos State. And particularly the activities of estate agents. So I have come to discover that people who occupy that space are not supposed to be there. Like I always say, if a barber loses his job, he becomes an agent overnight, which is not be tolerated. Allow professionals to operate in that field. Who are the qualified professionals? Lawyers, estate surveyors, and valuers. And anyone who studied any course relating to estate management in the university. Their degree certificate should be the qualifying certificate. Because those of us who are professionals, who have ethics and code of conduct, we have professional ethics. But these people who have no integrity, nothing to protect, they have no ethics. So they come in and increase the agency fee at random with recklessness. And that affects even the occupier.
So it's good that you started from this one, Barrister. Yes. So let's start from here. I'm talking about people not being qualified. I want us, Barrister, to look at this from the business point. We know that certain persons are intellectual erudite. Some persons are quite smart. They can take any leaflet, study it, and try to be professionals.
Yeah.
So I do agree with you that every Tom, Dick, and Harry should not just jump and become a real estate agent.
Yes.
You can't have a mechanic who has no idea as to what it is to be a real estate agent, who wants to be interested in making money off that platform.
Yeah.
But what about people who are not accredited? People are not certified, but yet they've gone through that rigorous process of studying on their own, and they understand the rudiments and things that it takes to be a real estate agent. Shouldn't they be given an opportunity to also earn a living out of this platform?
That is not an excuse. If you want to have that opportunity, go to school, get that qualifying certificate, which is your degree. Then you come back and enroll. So you cannot, because of that, somebody has studied it over time, maybe online or whatever, he becomes qualified. No, you cannot, because you go to hospital every day and sit down there and see look at what the doctor is doing, and you say you're entitled to practice as a
okay. So now since we don't have an agreement on this angle, what about this other angle? Shouldn't the Lagos State government come to a point where they have to set up an institution that can train people into become real estate practitioners? I'm not talking about the difficult angles of real estate. I'm talking about the easy angles, like what does it take to become a real estate agent? So what about the Lagos State government setting up an institution, or private investors setting up an institution where they can train people a 3-month program, a 1-year program, a 2-year program, where you become a real estate agent. And thank God the Lagos State government is putting up a portal and a means by which estate agents will be registered and be certified. Can't we have institutions, erected that can handle all of this?
Well, they can do that, but they have to, enact a law to establish that institution, to make it legal. They have to establish that to make it legal. That is number one. And if they want to do that, there's no problem. As long as the personnel who practice in that field are qualified. That is my point. To cover up all these excesses in the system. Because the system is messed up. You see, for instance, a house in, let's say, Aja, a 2-bedroom flat that goes for about 1.5 million. The agency fee, which is supposed to be 10%,
500,000,
they impose 200, 300, 400,000, as if it is easy for anybody to pay. And I keep asking them that question. You that is imposing this fee, can you pay that?
Can you pay that money?
They will not, they keep dumb, they won't answer. So that shows the greed in human nature. Some people are greedy by nature. So that excesses should be curbed. Lawyers cannot do that. Estate valuers and surveyors cannot do that because we have professional ethics. We have rules of conduct that govern us.
So when we say that this excesses should be curbed,
yes,
can it really be curbed? By the time this bill is passed into law, come here, by the time this bill is passed into law,
yes,
is the law enforcement agents going to really curb this law? How are they going to curb it? Because it is, and somebody did raise this question up at the house that day. It is not as though this enforcement agents will be going from house to house to understand the issues that a tenant will face with the landlord.
Yeah.
For example, I think we dealt with this last time on the show. You are a landlord, I'm a tenant in your house. You are coming with excesses with your agents. Yeah. I take you to court, I report you to the state government, and I win the case against you. You're not going to want me to stay in your house.
Naturally, yes.
You want to chase me out of your house.
Line of dispute has been drawn.
Exactly.
Yes.
So now we don't have any law that represents the tenant as to say, after the landlord has been aggressive towards you unlawfully, you win a case against him. Now the law supports you to stay in his house. Now he can evict you. Now if he evicts you, there's no law supporting you to stay back. So doesn't this stop the hands of the tenants as to going against their landlords and their agents and getting the law to be enforced?
It's one of those points I wanted to make on the floor of that house. Only that time did not permit me. I only gave them 3 valid points. If they are listening, it is easy to do. What the government has to do is establish an escrow account, as it is done in Dubai. Tenant pays money into that place. The landlord has no access to that money. Government, tenant, and yes,
the tenant takes his share.
Government can take his share, 0.5%. Agent can take his share, 4.5%. The lawyer takes his own share, 10%, which is legal fee for preparing the document. So at every time, government controls what happens between the landlord and tenant. In the event of any agent inflating the fees, government will know from that point. And it's not as if the tenant is there to fight the landlord. If the tenant defaults in paying, government will also know. Government can even trigger the suit and sue the agent. It's not a question of the agent taking the landlord to the court only to come and be facing wahala at home. No. Government can sue. So any of them defaulting, it can even become a crime. So if a law is enacted to make it criminal, government can sue any of them, take them as a complainant.
Valid point. I rest my case. I mean, what you're saying is hitting the nail on the head.
Yes.
You are saying that money doesn't have to exchange hands between the tenant and the landlord. This is where you have problem.
Yes.
When money is exchanging hands between landlord and tenants, it becomes difficult.
Yes.
But when money is paid into a certain portal,
yes,
the government sees the portal. Nobody's taking anybody's money.
As it is done in
it becomes
Dubai.
Easy.
Yes, just like even when you are purchasing a property and building, you don't pay to the seller directly in Dubai. You pay into an escrow account. Government controls it and take their own fund from there. And the government fund should be minimal. Government should not, because of the money coming in and be taking everything. I suggest 0.5%. That is half of 1% to government. 0.5. So if you look at the cumulative income that will come in, it's a big thing for government.
Okay, I'll branch away from you, Barrister. Quickly, I've got 2 lovely ladies with me this morning in the building. One is Tabitha, the other is the lady who took the news. Tabitha, please, your full name.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lady Tabitha Oluwabukumi.
Where are you from, Tabitha?
I'm from Ghana.
Okay, she's one of our interns in the house, an amazing young lady. One of our parents is actually Nigerian. I think your dad or your mom?
My mom.
Your mom. You do look Ghanaian. The chocolate
She's
skin.
presenting her country this morning. She'll be at her best.
Anyways, Tabitha, you stay with your parents, yeah?
Yes, I do.
The dad is a landlord?
Yes, he is.
He's a landlord. What, as a Gen Z, because I want the opinions of Gen Z. Well,
Okay.
I say this to people often. It doesn't matter the show I do. I ensure that Gen Zs are a part of what we're discussing because you are the future. Whatever it is that we're doing in the next, I should leave this world before you. That's the practical thing.
Natural,
That's the
yes.
practical
Because
thing. They say society is beautiful when old men plant trees. They know they are not going to enjoy the shade. So part of what I'm doing is for you and the younger ones, Alpha Gen. But in your opinion, so far so good. What has been your experience, landlords and tenants, as regarding real estate? And
I would say, okay, now let me speak from my angle, my dad and his tenants. Now, I feel like my dad is a very peaceful man. He doesn't have problem with them, so he just goes like, if you come and you want to rent our house, he'll tell you to go and meet the lawyer. And that's what he mentioned, barrister mentioned, is like you should go through a professional first to go through the normal things you're supposed to do. So he'll tell you to go and meet the lawyer. After settling everything, you just come to him. All he needs is feedback, because I feel like he's a lawyer that's supposed to
draft the
everything, the documents and everything that you're supposed to sign, because the lawyer knows best. So that's what he just tells them. His own is just take his rent, and then he's a very peaceful man. He doesn't even have issues with tenants, so I don't think they should have a problem with him.
Your father lives in his house, right?
Yes, he does.
Most young people will say they don't want to live in a house where the landlord resides in, but your father is a different.
He's peaceful. It's different.
There are good landlords. I have met a lot of them. There are good human beings. You know, when a human being is good, is good. When he's bad,
he's bad. They say there's this funny statement in local parlance. Now bad Peking, they become bad old man. But we have another person in the building, the one who took the news. She did fantastically well. Good morning to you again, Gifts.
Good morning.
What's your full name?
Ayegba Gift,
Ayegba Gifts. Where are you from?
Benue State.
Benue State. You stay with your parents.
Yes, I do.
What's your opinion as regarding that? You are a tenant in Lagos, yeah?
Yes, and my dad is also a landlord.
Your dad is so you talk from the tenant's angle, but you are a tenant while your dad is a landlord.
Yes.
So it means that you don't stay in that property that your dad owns. You stay somewhere else.
Yes, I
Good.
do.
What's your experience with landlords as a Gen Z?
So yeah, my landlord, she's very peaceful. She's an old woman, and she has money. So I'm not sure the one we're paying is going to be of use. So I mean, if you just attach it to somebody else, she's like very peaceful, and we pay on time. We pay early. We don't owe her, and she don't disturb us.
Okay, so just let's branch into somewhere else. As Gen Zs, do you have any hunger towards real estate? Are you guys looking forward to being a part of real estate?
Yes, definitely. Like if I make money now, I'm going to start investing in properties, because that is the real deal. That is the real deal in today's generation. Owning a property, because property is to appreciate very, very well. And I can buy a property of 20 million now, and next 2 years it has appreciated, and I'm going to get my money maybe times 2 or
of what you invested.
Yes, I'm going to get my money.
Okay, let's hear you, Tabitha. Tabitha, I'm going to ask you a different question.
Okay.
Why the hunger for real estate? Is it just because of the money, or you're passionate about properties?
I feel like it's the money, and then providing value for people too. Because just like you said, 40 to 60% of people spend their income on rent. So now imagine I invest. Don't you think I would make money? I would make money, but I would also be giving people a place to stay. So I feel like it goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
Yes.
Why do I agree only with the first part?
No, don't say so.
All right, thank you. Massive opinion. But Gifts got something to say. Okay, let's hear it.
Since when I was small, I've always had an interest in property, estate agency. Like, I don't know, I like it. I like how they do. I like how they operate.
You like the profession?
Yes, I like the profession.
Okay.
And I would like to venture into
I'm not so excited for you. Barrister has plans with the government to ensure that you don't see fighting unless you go through the you study anything that has to do with it. Lagos is Property 360 on top of 90.9 FM. My name is Aaron Seth. You can call me the King of Words. We have a lot of messages to read. When we come back after this quick break, what music should we do this time? Let's do Dandelions by Roots B. Don't touch that dial. We're going to be back shortly. Property 360 on top radio 90.9 FM, station that takes you to the top and stays there with you. We are the grant on the real estate sector in Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa, Africa, and of course around the globe. My name is Aaron Seth. You can also call me the King of Words. That was Root B with Dandelions, my live elevated my heart. Perspiring. I love good music. I love good sound. The rhythm and the algorithm it provides me is something else. I love life. What about you? I hope you're living large. I hope you're living large. See, it doesn't matter how, even if it's Gary you are drinking, just be excited about life. The dead wish they are living. The living don't want to live. So you got to live your life. It doesn't matter how difficult Nigeria is. Keep pushing. Keep holding on. Keep pushing. Keep holding on the fort. You never know. It will be your time soon. It is Prophet 3 on top of 90.9 FM. Barrister Kasme Anyanwu is in the building. And of course, we have the beautiful intern, Tabitha and Gift, who will share their opinion. Barrister, let's jump into another angle before we leave the studio. So we have a few more minutes and then the next show has to happen. Lower agency fees.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. The government said that this law is not in favor of the landlord as against the tenants, that it is in favor of both parties. But somebody that they are not looking at or they are not so concerned about, I'm not standing for the agents right now.
Yes.
It's always good to play the middleman sometimes. So the agents, Barrister, are part of why real estate is a big deal in Lagos. We cannot deny that. What are the professional agents? So let's even stay with those who are ethically abiding, those who are the right agents, not the criminal agents, the good agents. They are part of why real estate is sticky in Nigeria, in Lagos. Whether you're buying a property outright or you are leasing or you're renting. Is 5% fair enough? I'm not taking sides, Barrister. I'm not standing for or against. I'm asking you. Is 5% fair enough from the money they will earn if this bill is passed into law? Or is it cutting so much out of what they currently earn?
Well, you cannot have it all. If you are looking at percentage, anybody can even ask for 50%. That can still not satisfy the human needs. So what I suggested to government is 5%. Even on that 5%, if an escrow account is created, government can take 0.5% and leave the agent with only 4.5%. Okay. Then the lawyer can also contribute 0.5% and take 9.15% or whatever. So, but my issue there is with regards to what the act that establishes the estate surveyors and the valuers, is all about. They were saying that the act provides for 10% for them. So I was telling the Lagos State government on the floor of that house on Wednesday, given that the 10% is what is statutorily prescribed for the estate valuers, and Lagos State government wants to prescribe 5% for agents, how does that connect? Because there will be a conflict, and I also made it clearly that if such a conflict ensures between a statutory provision and the state law, the laws of the National Assembly will take precedence, override the Lagos State law. I made that point very clear to them. So while thinking on all this, they must also look at what the federal law is saying, because the state law cannot circumvent, override, or overreach a federal
law on housing.
A federal law is an act of the National Assembly. Any law made by the National Assembly is a federal law. Then the state laws are made by the Houses of Assembly of the state. So their own laws cannot overreach or override the provisions of the statute or an act of the
You raised this in the house and somebody else did on that day. Anyway, we've got a few messages here. I grew up in Singapore where public housing is backed by data and planning. Nigeria could really benefit from the national housing data. I've been out of Lagos for the last 6 years. My name is Wei Ling, but you can also call me Oluwatos.
Wow.
You have changed your name to Wei Ling. You're Oluwatos. I drive Uber in Bariga. Every Naira counts, reducing agency fees with... I drive Uber in Bariga. Every Naira counts. Reducing agency fees will help us breathe. My name is Hassan, and life is difficult in Lagos, I must say. Yeah. Don't worry, better days are coming. Alemi Festac, too many fake agents here. Las Rera registration with receipts could save a lot of tenants from heartbreak. My name is Gloria. Said, why are you not reading my messages? Well, I am now. Agency fees debates reminds me of New York, where tenants also fight hidden costs. This is a global struggle. My name is Modashiru. Modashiru, you're in New York, USA. I used to work in London housing policy. Virtual mediation is brilliant. It saves everyone time and money. My name is Fatima, but I was born here in London. You wrote something else. I can't read that on radio. Sorry. As a young graduate agent, 1 million naira Lasrera fee will end my dream before it starts. It feels like the door is only open for big firms. My name is Ibrahim. We talked about this at one point in time in one of our shows. That 1 million naira is too much. I even think barrister that 500,000 naira is too much.
Why would they be asking
because
for 500,000?
that's part of what I think the discussion is about.
That. I was expecting them to ask for about 20 or 50,000.
So as a firm, barrister, as a real estate firm, if as a real estate firm, you can have several agents who carry your credentials, your ID card.
Yes.
So if you say they pay 5 million naira for real estate firms, I have no problem.
But
as individuals,
yes,
you cannot charge an individual 500,000 naira for real estate to be a real estate agent.
No, they can
annually.
They can ask the firm to pay like 100 or 150,000, while individuals can pay like 20 or 50,000. Okay. Just like a CSC does with lawyers and other agents.
My family lost property to floods in Ikorodu last year. Hearing the commissioner advise relocation makes me wonder if government really has a plan. My name is F.A. I think you have to ask that question. You have to ask that question because this happened last year, and now your very good friend Mr. Wahab Tokumbo, the Minister for the Commissioner for Environment, is saying that certain places in Ajegunle and Ikorodu, people should evacuate because of the landslide that may happen because of floodings. I'm a landlord in Mushin, but I also rent in Lekki. Honestly, both sides need fairness. Tenants want protection, landlords want respect. My name is Bolaji. You see what landlord wants.
Yes.
Most landlord wants respect, I've observed. But most landlords respect begs on control.
Yes.
Control. At one time, I was in a lower.
Yes.
The landlord said that he doesn't want our girlfriends in the house. In China, landlord-tenant rules are strict but fair. Tenants in Lagos deserve that same clarity. My name is Jian. I think so too. Yes. Strict rules, but with fairness. You tamper justice with fairness. Yes. You have rules that you abide by these rules, but you have to be fair. In Qatar, agents are licensed and monitored. Nigeria insisting on Lasrera registration feels like the right direction. My name is Mufed. Ibejuleki estates are everywhere, but many are illegal. If you put all your life savings in land and it is seized, you are finished.
That is correct.
My name is Ade. I hope you're listening. If you're listening, you should take note of these things. Data center idea is powerful. I studied statistics in Unilag. Without housing numbers, every policy is just guesswork. My name is Samuel. We spoke about this, barrister.
Yes.
Lagos, goodness, I have so many messages here, almost about 30 of them. I'm sorry. What I will do is that I will post them on the platform. So there's a series going on currently on Property 360 on our social media platforms, and we have an article. We have this article coming from barrister. The article will be posted as well. Under the comment section, most of this will be put in there. Thank you so much for all of you who have been a part of this show, from those of you from outside the country who have listened in, some of you in Japan, Singapore. It's time to sleep, but you're here listening. Thank you so much. Barrister Kasmi Anyanwu, thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much. Your social media platform?
My Facebook is Baron Riches. My Instagram is Cassie the Law. Then on TikTok, I answer Cassie, CASSIE.
Thank you. You can follow Property 360 at Property 360 NG on Instagram, Property 360 NG on Facebook, same thing on TikTok, on X, formerly called Twitter, and of course our YouTube page. We will get this show. It should be out in the next 2 or 3 days. My name is Bruno. You can call me Ron Seth. I'm the King of Words. This show comes to you every Mondays from 10 a.m. all the way to 11 a.m. Thank you for being a part of the show. I'll leave you my parting word as always. It doesn't matter how effective your words are. It doesn't matter how productive your words are. You may be a Christian, you may be a Muslim. At the end of the day, if you don't go and look for work to do, Sakpa is going to blow you. Lagos, goodbye.